Hello, my name is Eric Sheninger, and we're going to talk about leading in times of uncertainty. For the past few years, I've been an associate partner with the International Center for Leadership and Education. As we've seen in these very difficult and challenging times, we have to be able to teach, learn, and lead, not just for now, but in the future. We're going to dive into the great unknown, discuss some examples of innovative thinking, look at models for improving learning, and really emphasize the need for relationships in the work that we do. As we think about where we are, not many of us even know where we are. Things are changing so rapidly. And as we think about these changes, it's very difficult to determine where we need to be or where we ultimately are going to go. The biggest disruptive force prior to the pandemic was the fourth industrial revolution, advanced automation, artificial intelligence, robotics. But what do our learners need to survive and thrive in this world? They need to be able to think, they need digital skills, job specific skills, and personal skills. And it's incumbent upon schools, districts, and educators to prepare them. And as we think about what's happened since, we still have the fourth industrial revolution, but now we still have COVID-19. And COVID-19 has placed many challenges and stresses on schools. Yet, it has also presented us with numerous opportunities to think critically about not just what we do, but why we do it that way and how we can improve. Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Whether it be the fourth industrial revolution or the pandemic, we can ill afford to follow the mantra, that's the way we've always done it. The unknown requires us to be nimble and to think differently about how we can improve. And as we think about leading, leadership is leadership, everyone. But in these uncertain times, we need to model the way, ask more questions, provide different levels of support, communicate relentlessly, learn from the past, emphasize health and safety, be a great listener, exhibit courage, demonstrate empathy, and embrace vulnerability. Leadership is not about position, title, or power. Leadership is about action. Regardless of your role, we can all lead in these uncertain times. So now let's really dive into, okay, we know what the unknown looks like. And to get to where we want to be and where our learners need to be, we need to really be honest about where we are. But as we think about the move to more innovative processes that improve what we do, it relies on two things, everyone. Get kids to think and empower our kids to apply their thinking in relevant and meaningful ways. This is the rigor relevance framework designed by the International Center for Leadership and Education. And you could see on the vertical axis, thinking, nothing new. But we have to also get our kids to apply their thinking in ways that truly matter and prepare kids for the unknown now and whatever unknowns are present in the future. It's about moving our learners through these different quads and understanding that when it's all said and done, what do we really want our learners to be able to do? Think. And if you really want to know what preparing our kids for the unknown actually looks like, it's right here. Students have the competence to think in complex ways and apply their knowledge and skills that they've acquired. When they're confronted with perplexing unknowns, they're able to use extensive knowledge and skill to create solutions and take action that further develops their skills and knowledge. It's not about doing things completely new, everyone. It's about doing what we already do better. And I think I like this phrase a lot. For so long, education has prepared kids for something, tests, curriculum, graduation. We need to prepare our kids for anything. And as we think about how we do that, and we think about the role of technology, it's not technology on one side, curriculum instruction and assessment on the other, everyone. Technology should support and enhance what we want for our kids. But the key is who's using the technology. So the key questions to ask are, number one, how are our learners using technology to learn in ways they couldn't without it? And number two, how does technology represent a fundamental improvement over what we've done in the past. And the rigor relevance framework can be that resource to help create a common vision, common language, and common expectations to get all kids what they need. And all means all. If all kids are doing the same thing the same way at the same time, that's not preparing them to be successful. We have to think about giving all kids what they need, when they need it, where they need it. And we do that by moving to high agency approaches. On the left is tradition. It's not about getting rid of traditional practices. It's making sure we do not reside there. And what I hope is you can pick one or two of these elements on the right-hand side and think about how you can improve your practice. Because all kids have greatness hidden inside of them. It's the job of an educator to help them find and unleash it. And that's what we mean by that shift from low to high agency practices. And how do we do it? Through personalization. Personalized learning is not about putting all kids in front of a device and having them use an adaptive learning tool. It's about looking at how we make instruction, pedagogy, curriculum more personal, how we use data to group, regroup, to differentiate, to get kids what they need, providing targeted instruction. But it's about the 5 key elements of high agency: voice, choice, path, pace, and place. And as we think about those elements, it's incumbent upon educators to determine what is realistic. What can we do now? It's not about doing all of them, everyone. It's about looking how we can infuse one of these high agency elements every single day. Whether it's path, voice, choice, pace, place. It's incumbent upon you. But what does this look like? How do we do it? How are educators in schools doing it now? So let's look at some models for improving learning. And as we think about that, here is an example of high agency personalized learning. Biology teacher in Corinth, Mississippi, letting kids select their own path, giving them choices, allowing them to work at their own pace by watching instructional videos, designing choice boards that are relevant, meaningful, authentic, that get kids immersed in the concepts where they truly see purpose in their learning. And as we think about even looking at time, it's not about giving time, which is great, we want to do that, but it's also looking at how time can be used better in the classroom. Looking at how we organize it into a station rotation model, a choice board, a playlist. But as we think about all this and we look at how educators are taking the resources they have now in learning management systems like Canvas, and they're creating invigorating virtual environments where students are working at their own pace, choosing their own path, getting what they need when they need it, and looking at other different models where they're able to utilize playlists and select the order of the tasks, but freeing up the teacher so the teacher can work with the kids that need it the most. There are so many amazing ideas out there, everyone, but in order to move to these new practices, these new models, we have to look at professional learning. And it has to be job embedded, ongoing, giving educators the support that they need. We also have to focus on asking the right questions and thinking about how we can move the needle so that our kids are prepared in this great unknown. And as you think about these driving questions, apply them to your role, whether you're a district administrator, building administrator, whether you're a teacher, a parent, a stakeholder. But as we think about where we are, where we want to be, don't wait for the right opportunity, everyone. Create it. And as we think about all that, and we think about the glue that holds everything together, it's relationships. Yes, we want kids to think, but they need the emotional skills and the social and interpersonal skills. This is why we call this the rigor, relevance, relationships framework that can help you usher in and sustain this change that's built and sustained on empathy, compassion, time, support, exemplar, showing what's actually working, providing flexibility, and exhibiting grace. It all comes down to relationships, everyone. Without trust, there's no relationship. Without relationships, no real learning occurs. Challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. Thanks for joining, everyone. I hope you'll check out the amazing work that we do at the International Center for Leadership and Education so that we can help you lead in these uncertain times?